getting out of here in a couple of hours or so. It's such a long day, man. I gotta get some coffee in my system. It's just boring, you know? Nothing ever happens. No. I gotta go. Hey, everything okay?
Hello. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, no.
Welcome to Strike Force. You are an elite battle squad assembled to defend Earth. This is who we're up against. The alien warlord Ultimus and his Kree soldiers who have joined forces with Hydra and AIM. Now, I know some of you aren't used to fighting side by side with each other, but the world needs you to put aside your feuds and stand together. Any questions?
I am Groot.
Any other questions? All right, it's go time. Now get out there and save the world.
You need help with your Marvel Strike Force game? Then come down to the school of the Game Father. Valley Flying did, and he learned that you can't beat the Game Father. Valley Flying. That's right, I'm the 3-time Super Sunday Red Stip Blitz Orb champion. After I uppercutted Valley Flying in his vagina for the 3rd time, he went home and cried to his little mommy, and now I need a new challenger. Bring it, little boy.
On the fucking dope.
All right.
I be balling
Let's see, let's do this
like a
one.
Gamers, keep on gaming because gamers are.
Drop 2 racks just to climb that board. FOMO'd out, oh this price got ignored. Every auction bit a slap to the face, cause I'm racing rich kids just to keep my place. Midnight strike, check the ranks, I'm 6th. Leaderboard sharks with unlimited tricks. Swipe that card like pride don't apply. Pray in the auction where go please the guide. Odin's up top, they said with a grin. But it's
How y'all
gated
doing?
behind how much cash you spend. Put diamonds for dollars, rent check gone. And all I got was shafted again. I thought I'd made it 50-55. Log back in, dropped 1,200 spots. Packs were bought, not
Did they
even
change
cheap.
it?
Now
I
just
haven't seen
broken,
it.
lost some sleep. Rank 50-58, man, what a joke. Scopely's has got me, I'm mentally broke. No diamonds on Odin, no leaderboard flex. Just regretting the debit card wreck. One more pack, I told myself. Now I'm just raised, post a torch on the shelf. Diamonds ain't red, it just cost too much. And I missed the cut by a whale-sized.
All right, what do we got here? Event issue resolved. All right. Oh, that's right. They took away my diamond. They took the diamond away. All right. All right. I have not played much today, so we're catching. We're coming in a little hot here. What do we got? Sash slinging slasher. Thank you. I don't even know. How are you all doing today? Wall this out, wall this out. All right, we'll do it. Just for you. Just for you. We gotta watch this video. Hot 92? 92 degrees. It's 99 here.
close out, close out.
So I'm thinking about making a new song. Here's the idea. We're gonna call it "Put the Fries in the Bag," and it's gonna be all about upset Redditors and Marvel Strike Force. That's what I'm thinking. He had me a new song. Put the fries in the bag. That's what I'm thinking. We've also got to watch the strike spot. I know I say this like every other day, but I'm in a goofy mood today. It very well could be one of those streams. Unfortunately, I have a hard stop at, let's see, 3.5 hours. So I'm only going to be streaming for at most 3.5 hours today. Cabal for Professor X Saga? No. I put out a video about that yesterday. I wish I would have mentioned that. But in the video, I was very deliberate in not recommending pre-Ares teams. Did you see the video from this morning? I put it out this morning, actually, a couple hours ago. Get a start. Hard stop at D's nuts. Oof. Oh, okay. So put the fries in the bag. So you think I should put a D's nuts joke in it? A D's nuts joke. Got him. Woof. Just unlike Professor X today. Yeah. They work fine, but that's not what I'm saying. If you are, stretching for your gear tier 20 and not a heavy spending, the idea is you have to be very selective with your gear tier 20 selections. And I'm going to suggest to you that where it's at is not pre-Ares characters. You're going to get more value out of a different set of characters outside of the Professor X saga. Can Cabal clear it? Yeah, but what's going to be more effective once you have Professor X? Are you going to get more value out of a different set of characters, or what team is going to fall by the wayside first? And so my suggestions are going to be based off of post-Ares characters that are going to be viable for a longer period of time, hopefully, anyways. Good day. Yeah, D's nut joke. Yeah, I think so. I have another one in my mind, but Kat says it's a bad idea. Let me write it down so that I don't forget. I feel like some people are inclined to, a shield trooper. For what, though? It's literally a waste of resources. And I'm not saying that that's where Cabal is, but it's more about what is going to last longer. Every single Dark Dimension, the general regret, every single Dark Dimension, every single saga like Professor X, is people said that they should have gone the expensive newer character route. And expensive, I'm not talking about buying new characters. I'm talking about using Mephisto instead of somebody else. Well, Mephisto costs more. Yes. But you're going to want to do Mephisto anyways. So why waste your time with some trash garbage character that's 18 months old that is not going to be viable in a couple months from now? Go the quality route is what I'm saying. Quality, historically, quality has been the smart play for a long time inside of these Dark Dimension type game modes. Can you get through with Cabal? Sure. Does it matter though? What are you talking about? Cabal or Cable, I guess? Yeah, I would definitely go quality. I just don't... outside of Iron Patriot, I think the team is going to fizzle away here pretty soon. I think Iron Patriot's going to have some legs. Hello. Oh. Put on the head and do whatever you want to do. Never stopped you before. Do whatever feels good, man. Invisible. Oh, how else do I do that? Invisible Witch? Yeah, quality versus getting Professor X faster. I think that is a better. I like the way that said. I just feel like this is a very old conversation in Marvel Strike Force. And once it all settles out, most people feel like they, instead of saving themselves a couple days, they wish they would have went quality over speed. Now, because people that are getting Professor X now aren't racing against the Red Star thing. Now, when we were racing against the Red Star thing, which was like in the first 60 days, that was different, right? But that's not a thing. That's not a thing anymore. Yeah, the cheap builds, yeah, you might get there faster or whatever, but I just don't think that historically that has not been there's always a million exceptions, I suppose. This is kind of a nuanced conversation that's hard to talk in absolutes. Keep in mind. Orcus? All right, so there's an easy way to get an answer to that question. And I'm really a big fan of this tab. And I feel like this was a QOL, quality of life update that largely, I keep talking about it, but what's up, my guy? So, not the Put the Fries in the Bag song, the other song that I'm not going to say the name. One of them was...
Why even make it if you're not going to say the name?
Oh, because it's funny. I'm thinking about it still. I haven't reconciled my brain yet. So I know the last thing which you said was super controversial. Don't say that one. But the other part was about the shopping carts. What was the other thing that you said? Not tipping waiters. So let me ask you guys a question. In the vein of self-absorbed people, for example, people that refuse to put their shopping cart back in the thing, or people that don't feel like they should ever tip waiters, what is in that genre of silliness, if you will? Like I mean, you know, just like maybe it's a pet peeve to us when somebody acts like that. Talking on their phones during the movies? Talking on the phone in public places, being loud. People who are proud of never spending a dime on free-to-play games. I don't know. Typing caps. Oh, speakerphone? Yeah. Kat says that my idea is a bad idea. Should I share with you my bad idea, chat? No, I want to make a song. A song. That's the mood I'm in today, is to make songs. I think put the fries in the bag will probably happen before. Kat says that's a good idea. She's saying that this other idea I have is absolutely terrible. Now, before you judge me, I got to give context for it. This is a bad idea. So here's the premise of the song. The song is going to start off the title of the song is called Bring Retarded Back. In the beginning of the song, we'll talk about how I feel like this shouldn't be a shamed word and I should be able to use it. It's a free country and I don't really care what people think. It used to be so much fun and people should stop being so sensitive. Hence, being retarded back. And then the second part of the song is going to go into how this person also like refuses to tip at restaurants, doesn't put shopping carts back, won't, have no problem walking through stores talking in caps because we're bringing retarded back. And that will be the format of the song. Anyways, like the first part of it will sound like it's kind of like pro saying that word, and then the song will devolve into like, yeah, only selfish people think that way, my guy. How hard is it to not use that word? It's just gonna be like only assholes do that is where the song will go. Your wife has the right idea. All right, Kat's like, yeah, this is a bad idea. All right, Kat's right. I mean, I was thinking about throwing about how inconvenient. It's a bad idea, huh?
Let's say it one more time.
They think it's a bad idea.
What was that about Kat?
Kat thinks it's a bad idea.
No.
Kat's always right. There you go. This is a 50+ humor song. Oh my god. Possible definitely the worst idea you had. Oh. Yeah, I don't use the word, but I just thought it would be humorous. I've been watching I haven't for a long time. For some reason, Asmongold popped up in my feed, and I've caught a handful of his. He's really changed since the last time I watched him. He's definitely gone, you know, more down the road of political commentary. He uses that word constantly. Like he'll use that word, and like somebody will say something to him and he'll call him that word, then he'll ban them, and he just uses that word like all the time. I was like, whoa, this is interesting. We'll make it to 60 at this rate. Oh my god, hashtag. All right, well, if you say it's a bad idea, it's a bad idea. I was trying to make commentary, make the song to be like commentary on like how, you know, like how petty are people? You know, how hard is it to not do that? Right? That is the point of the song. You know, it's the same type of person that won't put their shopping cart back because someone's jobbed you and I don't have to do anything. You know, that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. Well, it's funny is oh my god, I don't want to even get into that. You know what, Hugh Jess. So Kat and I have this mutual friend who is a fairly prolific gay comedian, and I told him, I said, what do you think about this? And he's like, yeah, that's hilarious, but you should make it about the word gay instead, because he's gay. And I was like, yeah, I don't think that, you know, he was like, he thinks that they need to bring that word back. I was like, what are you thinking, man? He's kind, I've seen some of his old bits. He was very controversial back in the day. Yeah, I mean, I guess the intent is not appropriate. I don't know. Okay, bad idea. Fine, you talked me out of it, chat. Okay, bad idea. It seemed like a good idea what I created in my brain. Cat's like, this is not a good idea. It's kind of on the order of the Silver Surfer costume. It sounded good in my brain, but then when it became time to implement it, it didn't turn out so good. Sword battle. But this is how my brain works. It's not so much a bad idea. Yeah, I think it is. So keep in mind, my generation, this was a very normal word back in the day. Like it was, like you didn't think anything of it. And you're right, it might be a 50-year-old plus thing. I think that the people that I encounter that are 50 years old, like have no problem using that word still a lot. And it's just a thing. I feel like it is a 50-year-old thing. Oh, my grandfather was definitely in that camp. I don't know if you guys are going down that route. He's passed away, but yeah, he was. Thank God my parents were not, racist. Thank God my parents weren't, and so none of that was handed down to me, so I didn't have to unlearn anything. But my grandparents, not so much. Oh, let's not do that. Yeah. Let's just not do that one, Hugh. I see what you're trying to do, but let's just not do that. Yeah. Let's just not. Let's just not today. Yeah, let's just not do that. I get what you're trying to do, but let's just not. Okay, chapter 1. All right, we got Harbinger. We've got Tower. No, I'm there with you. I see. This is what I was going with this whole conversation is like, even, and I know this is going to be controversial, but this is something that's close to me, and I'm not trying to create controversy, but like something that I've had close friends explain to me, and I've seen people go through it, and going through the linguistic obstacle of using them, they. And once I did it for like 6 months, it is not that hard. It is such not a big deal. And the number of people that, you know, have like hardline opposition to using them, they, is like, oh, come on, it's not that hard. It's just not that hard. And yet it turns into a whole debate. And I get it, but you know, what switched me around was just having a close friend, and then when I understood like I don't know, it's just about being like not a shitty human. You know what I mean? It's like, what do I care? It's not that hard. Yeah, I mean, it's just like using the R word, or pushing my shopping cart into the cart, or not using my phone in a speakerphone, or tipping waitresses. It's on the same level. It's all on the same level. I'm selfish. I want to do what I want to do, and you can't tell me nothing, and I don't change for anyone. Or it's super easy. What does it matter? I'm going to be a decent human being. You get to choose. And whatever you choose is up to you. But I will judge you, and everybody else that has half a brain will be judging you. So go do it yourself. But you don't get to complain when people judge you. Yeah. If you want to be a shitty human being, you can do it, but you don't get to complain when people judge you. Do your thing, but you will be judged. People will look down on you and think you're a lower human. And you don't get to complain about that. That's just your choice. You get to decide. Yeah. Oh, giving the worst offense, using a team someone came out with automatically knowing said person made the team and not give you the credit. Oh, did I do that recently? I hope not. I hope I didn't do that. The R word? No, the handicapped word. Thanos with Black Order. Oh boy. I have never deliberately like gone out of my way to slight someone. Like, you know, and I, you know, if someone presents me with an idea, I generally just say, hey, this person showed me it. I don't even know if they came up with it, but this is the person that told me about it. That's usually about, you know, as far as it gets with me. If someone says, hey, I thought of it, I was like, all right. going forward, we'll do that then. That's fine. Oof. Submitted trade card if you care. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, this is easy, right? I did not. They did though, right? I did not. Someone, Zero, brought that up here in conversation today. And I did not go any further than that. Well, no, I don't think that's what they mean. A lot of times people throw things my way and I was like, oh, that's video worthy. And I don't even know that it was like somebody who originated the idea. Like, I'll give you, for example, like yesterday, the whole thing with Mr. Fantastic and using in the bounce PvP. I have no clue who came up with that. I know someone's in my alliance, Nah, sent it to me. And this is the person that told me about it. I don't know where they got the information from. I have no idea, but if someone said, hey, I was the one that found that, I would say, okay, I'll mention that in the next video. No problem, my guy. Like, what do I care? Oh, yeah. Flint saw it on Dorky Stream. Yeah, I have no idea. What is this? I have no idea. What happened here? Yeah, we're going to watch the strike spot. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, I have no idea. So it's, you know, but if someone approached me and said, hey, you know, I was the one that found it. I was like, all right, I'll put that in the next video or whatever. I had no problem doing that. All I know is who told me about it. Yeah, and, you know, it didn't get more complicated than that. You know, it's like, Nah told me about it. You know, I have no idea. And that's the other thing, too. I know this happens in Marvel Snap a lot. If you know, people create decks, and the problem with that is Marvel Snap, you know, there's only so many possible combinations, so it's not like super like, oh, I thought of this. I mean, to a certain degree, I suppose, but and so then the thing that people, it was always this controversial, oh, that's XYZ's name and this is XYZ's deck, blah blah blah. And you know what, it's the easy way around it. It's like, this deck was popularized by blah blah blah, or I heard about this deck from so and so. It's like, but it's not anybody's deck. Nobody thought it up. It's not that the game is not even that complicated. There's only so many logical combinations of cards. This was like a constant problem at Marvel Snap. So what 2 rooms changed in Crucible? 1 in 6? 1 in 3? I didn't look at it yet. Three and 6. All right. Mephisto and Astral? I have no idea. No idea. But again, that's a perfect example of like, how hard is it to think of that, and who had to prove, like, who thought of it first? It's almost unknowable. And you know, and so for me, it's like, I heard it from this person. It's kind of like, it's almost like, it's not, it's like putting Thanos with Black Order. I mean, come on. Putting Mephisto with Astral is not. Ten people may have simultaneously thought of it at the same time. It's like, like historically, didn't 2 people invent calculus at the same time in different parts of the world? It could happen. Is that not true? I have no idea. That's just what I heard. All math is made up? All right, well, let me Google this shit, because I know there was something. Did two people invent calculus at the same time? Let's see if this is yes, it's true that calculus was independently invented by Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz around the same time in the late 17th century. While both developed the core concepts of calculus, their approaches and notations differed. This led to the famous priority dispute over who deserved more credit for their discovery. All right. I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you. I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know. They changed 3 and 6. Is it because of a curse? It's beyond my realm of comprehension. As far as like that thing, I don't even know if it matters. Whether it was calculus or not, it's not improbable to think like a simple game like Marvel Strike Force, two people could have came up with the same idea at the same time. I mean, the same thought process exists one way or another. The same point is made. Whether or not the details of the historical thing matter or not, I guess not so much. Calculus ruined my life? Oh my God. Derivatives? I don't know what that is. Gave it to Newton. There was a, wasn't there a post about it yesterday? Let's see. I thought there was a post. Zoom in on that mustache. All right. No. Wasn't there a post about we fucked up? All right, right here. All right. Well, there's 2 different posts. All right. Who invented cargo shorts? I know. These are the issues that matter on this stream. Command Center progress was not counted for the Franklin Richards showcase. This issue has been revolved. Yeah, and you just replay the nodes and it works. You can sim it. Short period of time, you could purchase Mr. Fantori MCU diamonds using a cursed diamond credits. Yeah, they refunded that. They got rid of that shit real quick. Mr. Fantastic MCU path to orbs were unintentionally giving Invisible Woman path to orbs. Compensation bid sent to players who purchased these offers. It says it's already resolved then. If you use Mr. Fantastic versus any stars, it would count towards using Mr. Fantastic MCU at all star levels for the diamond leaderboard for Franklin Richards. Okay, so this was the thing that we were talking about yesterday, right? We're going to normalize all the scoring message using Mr. Fantastic. So all players who earn points without needing to do a versus battle, you have Mr. Fantastic MCU unlocked. To ensure leaderboard integrity, players will be granted points based on the yellow star status of their Mr. Fantastic MCU at the time of the event's end. This should not extend the leaderboard payout time very long. For those competing on leaderboard, points will be awarded in the following amounts. There you go. And then this is 4 players. I mean, I'm surprised that they put this in the post. I guess maybe if they didn't and somebody brought it up on Reddit, they got ahead of it by saying it was 4 players. 4Q, brah. All right. Let's see. Am I done with some of this? Let's see. Did I finish this? No. No, this is actually, let me explain. There have been situations in the past where the developers, well, screenshots get out and blah, blah, blah. And then people, well, I didn't get this. And then, then there's these widespread belief that everybody got it but me, right? Everybody got null for free but me. And then the developers come back and say, no, it was a very small number of players. And then we call bullshit. This is them getting ahead of it before that type of situation happens, where 4 players had this happen. So before it turns into this screenshot, everybody got null for free but me, the developers suck, I want my compensation, they published this. Because this has happened. This has absolutely happened in the past. Details are a little different than the way I stated, but I think the general idea there, you understand. Yeah, they got way ahead of it. Because, all it takes is one screenshot of somebody getting a lot of shit for free, and it turns into this fervor on Reddit. Rightfully so. I mean, why not? All right, let's watch the strike video. Sipping lattes with my Scopely hearts? Oh, the server reset happened. All right, let's do that. I want compensation. I know, right? I'm not gonna do it. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. I'll have to look at the math on it a little bit closer. We got a lot of stuff to do today. We're gonna get through some of it. Well, Noel is... Yeah, I'm never going to spend it. I'm waiting for 110. I'm going to spend it when they release 110. That way I'll be 1 day ahead of you. 1 day. Or I'll be there at the same time as the person that spends $5. Was 1 day? I have no idea. Then the next level of progression is going to be purple 4 and 5 ISO is all we really know. But yes, level cap increase 110 is coming, and yes, gear tier 21 is coming, and 22, and 23, and 24 someday. But purple 4 is by year end, right? I suspect it's closer than that though. Purple 4 and 5. OP12 for sure. It'll be OP12. They might add another layer to the OP system. Well, they said that, but I'm gonna guess that with Purple 5, there'll be a net. You know, when you have overpowered 2, it'll mean more. Say that really fast, Baldy. Fantastic foreskins, 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 foreskins. Say it really fast. You got to be say it like 6 times. Dude, I've been having fun playing Kat's account in Raid Shadow Legends. Oh my god. I got her up to gold 5. Got her to 1 key Nightmare. Probably get her to 1 key Ultra Nightmare here pretty soon. Towers, I think I can do 15s on towers for her. Probably be the next thing. It's so much fun, actually. I'm having a blast. Fantastic foreskins? I don't get it. What's a foreskin? It has anything to do with anteaters? That's the last time I heard. I can do it. I can do it. Yeah, I think I did it the hard way. I'll look at her account and see, but right, you know, if I can get her to 2 key Ultra Nightmare, she'd be probably happy with that. What's a 7 head? What's a 5 head? Oh, Mr. Fantastic? Oof. In your endo. All right, we got to do 2 things. Negative. And then tower. Yeah, I know. But now she can at least sim. Oh my god. Check this out, Valdi. 2 characters with War Master, 30 million. 5 characters with War Master, 66 million. More than doubled the score. It doubled the score, changing him to War Master. Is it worth farming Invisible MCU in the Intel store? Possibly. You have Professor X? Maybe. If you have Professor X, maybe. All right, let's watch this strike spot.
Greetings, Commanders. My name is Pathfinder, and today we're talking about the next chapter in the Age of Annihilus. We recently overhauled the way you play every day with the Age of Annihilus and the new chapter structure. Today, Marvel Strike Force General Manager Ryan Jacobson is back to discuss how things went in Chapter 1. RJ is also going to give his thoughts on some of the community's feedback and might even dish out a teaser for the updates coming to Chapter 2. Whether you're a new player or a veteran, today you'll see why there's no better time to play Marvel Strike Force. Here's Ryan Jacobson. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. There's been a lot happening lately, so I'm a little tired.
In like
but
your
things are
life
good.
or the game or a little bit of both?
I think in the game, but mainly like today, you know, we're doing all these videos. We got a stream coming up tomorrow.
It's exciting times.
Yeah, it's exciting times. And speaking
Emma. What does that mean? We've got Emma in the background. We also have a Captain America shield in the background. What do you think about that, chat?
of exciting times, we're coming up.
Is this the video where they jerk each other off about their facial hair, or is that the new one? Well, that was the one before was all about facial hair. I mean, people with hair, am I right? Come on, guys. I never told that joke before.
On the end of chapter 1 of The Age of Annihilus. So I want to ask you, first question, what do you think the team could make better for chapter 2?
I think the first thing I want to see us kind of focus more on is kind of the overall distribution of the seasonal currency. I don't want to say intel because intel is going to change right now, right?
That's right. I'm here to confirm it right now. The first seasonal currency was called Intel. The second seasonal currency is going to be called, wait for it, Fucktel. I want my royalties on that if you end up calling it Fucktel.
But I think we internally,
You know, people with hair are just stupid as far as I'm concerned. People with hair, am I right? People with hair, bad drivers, terrible people. Oh my God, people with hair, am I right?
call it kind of the bag of goods. And what we've been seeing is that there's a significant portion of the player population that's leaving a lot of the seasonal currency on the table. And so we want to try and find a way to better really communicate to the players that this is the opportunity that you have to potentially really get these great rewards, right? And then give you the optionality to kind of how you want to spend that currency. But from what we've seen, the one thing I think we need to focus on is giving more of that seasonal currency out. And then I think secondly, we also know that the Quasar.
I bet you this guy right here, he doesn't push in his shopping cart. I bet you he walks through the store with his speakerphone. I mean, look at these guys. People with hair, am I right? I could just tell. I bet you Pathfinder's a bad tipper. People with hair, am I right?
We did really good in terms of players unlocking Quasar, but the red star distribution isn't just really where we would like it to be, so we're still kind of closely monitoring how this last Scourge is going to go, but that's something else that we're focused on right now.
Okay. And I know that the community also had a lot of feedback on the negative zones. How is the team looking at content for Chapter 2? I know that negative zone was one of the big kind of features of Chapter 1, but I think there's been a little bit of fatigue here towards the end.
A little or a lot?
A lot.
Frankly, I've been in the presence of this beard, and I was in awe. I was like, fuck me, I am not a real man. I need a real beard. And then I see Pathfinder's mustache, and I think, wow, how lucky his wife must be to have such a grandiose mustache. People with hair, am I right?
Yeah, it depends on the player, right? No, I would say that anytime we put something new into the game, we have ideas or aspirations of how we think it's going to work versus what the reality is, right? And I would say the negative zone is a perfect example of when it first came out as a...
Just for the record, I've got, wait. Well, I have something to say about Pathfinder's mustache here just in a minute. We're gonna get to it. We're not gonna talk about Ryan, but Ryan Jacobson's talking right now. RJ's talking right now. Let's go.
Player, I thought it was great. It was puzzly content. It took me a while to get through it. But then quickly realizing I needed to do it for the next 14 days straight, I was like, oh man, this is going to be very time consuming and I have like a job and things to do. Yeah. So I think there's value.
Negative zone is garbage.
Lessons that we are always going to take away or extract from kind of the playbook that we have, because again, this is a new structure that we're going into. But I would say the negative zone, what we were trying to accomplish, giving some sort of content that is, a little bit trickier.
Okay. I just want to let you guys know, I've been looking at Pathfinder's mustache for a while now, and I don't know if I could tell this joke. Oh, this is so bad. Cat! Should I tell this joke? I need help! Oh, God. All right, let's keep going.
More difficult for players to get through. That was the aspiration of it. But where I think we really fell was kind of how long and the duration and the reruns of it. And so I think those are the valuable lessons we'll pull forward, is kind of just how do we give you something probably a little bit more bite-sized that you go into, you feel good about. That's challenging, but not asking you to do it in the way that we asked you to do it in Chapter 1.
Okay, so not necessarily looking at it from a, I'm going to run this specific campaign every single day, but maybe a shorter time frame or maybe even a different piece of content.
Okay, so yeah, Negative Zone in concept wasn't horrible. Like, the first team gets through this part, then they turn on the modifiers, so you get to the second team. The thing I liked about Negative Zone is I kind of got to learn the teams and how they worked. Like, I enjoyed playing Vigilante through it. I thought that was pretty fun. The first 2 times, 3 times, I don't know, a certain number of times, but in concept, it was a reasonably good idea, I think. I think the 14-day thing is unfun. I have to play it today. I don't really want to play it. I don't really want to play it anymore. It just, I know how it works. I feel like it's, at some point it becomes like Blitz, just tedious and meaningless. And I think that's where it's at.
Content.
Yeah, or just even the rewards, right? Like as that first run went up, it was tied to leaderboards. So then you felt, again, this pressure to need to play for 14 days straight.
Yes.
Versus just how, as a player, can I go in and maybe there's first time rewards, second time rewards, but then I'm done, right? And so then.
Oh, I didn't do it. Nah called it early. He says, there's no way that Boomer's doing this. And I didn't. I still got my 1 diamond. I was on a video with Dossier, and I was like, yeah, I didn't do that. And I got a 1 diamond. He about fell out of his chair. I think I heard him throw up in his mouth when I said that. Remember that video where he's like, I said, yeah, I didn't do that. I just simmed the Mega Red nodes, and I didn't play it 14. He's like, I played it for 14 days every day, and I got 1 diamond. And I was like, yeah, I got 1 diamond too. I didn't do any of that. He was mad. I think he threw his keyboard after that interview. That's what I heard. He threw it into his kids' toys.
Then it's also, maybe it's up for, 7 days, 10 days, whatever it is. So it's up to the player's discretion of when they want to get through that. But you don't feel that daily pressure to play that content.
Okay, and I guess, kind of a follow-up to some of the feedback that I've seen at least is, new missions come out that are more geared towards teams that aren't completely available yet. Do you think?
Dossier's broken keyboard. Dossier's broken Negative Zone keyboard.
Any changes coming as far as that goes?
Yeah, I think that's, again, a great, comment, which is just sometimes what we're thinking in our heads and then the execution falls a little bit flat. We'd love for you to kind of already have the kind of content ready to go, right? Or the characters and the teams ready to go for that content that is coming out. But yeah, we need to do a better job of ensuring that when we're asking you to do a thing, those characters or that team is already kind of available.
I think that Professor X is much, 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 much more important than Invisible Woman. I would not be spending any intel on anything other than Gear Tier 20 pieces until I had Professor X. That's my hot take.
Available to you as a player.
Okay, so Chapter 1 is obviously finishing very soon. So I think, another question would be, what's one of the bigger changes that going from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2?
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to monitor and look at the data for the red stars, like I talked about a little bit ago. If that's not where we want it to be, because we of course have goals set for these things, then we probably will make some adjustments and pivots in terms of the way that we're going to distribute the red stars for the next legendary, because we definitely want, our players to walk away.
We wanted to rethink about how we distribute the red stars. They should ask Community Manager Whip what he thinks the best way to distribute red stars on the next legendary character. Greetings, commanders. Just got off the call with RJ, and he said, Community Manager Whip. I said, yes, this is Community Manager Whip. You know what that means, right? He goes, yes, I do. It means wail harder, you peasants. And that's why I called you. I need to know how much we're going to charge for red stars on the next legendary. And I said, ha, 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 I knew it. You called the right person. He goes, oh. He says, yeah, we need to make lots of monies off the red stars, but we need to make the community feel good about it. And I told him we need to introduce into the game a shittier team than Thunderbolts, but make 7 yellow stars a requirement to get 7 reds on the next legendary. Get fucked!
Powered up legendary, and that's yellow stars and red stars. So this last scourge will be really telling in terms of does it actually achieve those goals or not, and if not, then we will be making some changes to the way that we distribute the red stars.
Okay.
Imagine if the red stars on Quasar were tied to Thunderbolt's red stars. How shitty would that be? Think about that for a second.
Okay. And I think another question on maybe more new to mid-game players' minds, how are we going to be addressing the kind of disparity between the amount of shop credits like new players have versus older players? I know that's been a topic that keeps coming up that I wanted to get your take on.
Yeah, we rushed a lot of things out, right? And we knew.
No, what I mean is, if you want a 7 red Quasar, you need to have 7 red Thunderbolts. End of story. Not 3-star, not 4-star, 7-star.
Knew that shop credits was one of those things that we knew we'd have to revisit. It wasn't that we didn't have the foresight to kind of understand that we were creating something there that we need to go back and fix. There's a lot of things that we want to adjust and change, and I would say that right now there's some plans in the works that we hope to get out really shortly, because we do know that newer players or a reactivated player or someone who's mid-funnel like you kind of described, we don't want them spending the seasonal currency on shop, you know, going back and getting a whole bunch of older gear, or what we kind of call kitchen sink resources. We want them to be buying the latest and greatest things. So we are coming up with some strategies right now to combat that. But I would say probably sometime in chapter 2, but we know it's something that we're going to address, and we do have some plans on how we're going to address that.
And I think this kind of goes well with that, you know, conversation as well. There is going to be a small
more people
update.
Well, how many reds do you have on Quasar right now? Am I missing something? Is it less common? I guess I don't understand. Let's do a poll. Maybe I don't understand the situation then. Maybe this is why I talk out of my ass, because I don't understand the situation. Poll. Manage poll. New poll. How many red stars on Quasar? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0 through 2. How many red stars? Yeah, there's no 7s right now, just 6. Yeah, I don't understand what he means then. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, nah. I don't know. I guess I'm unclear. But that doesn't make sense, though. No, how many do you have on Quasar right now is the question. It's for an extra vote. All right, I'll watch the video. This is still useful information, though. All right. Let's watch the video.
With some of the additional currencies that we have, right? So do you want to share a little bit about the V2 of what's going to be consolidated in Chapter 2?
Yeah, I think we're still debating on, what we feel comfortable consolidating and or not. There potentially would be Battle World currency that might be consolidated. It might not. We have to think more of the kind of long-term ramifications if we pull it in, right? Because say again, like Battle World as an example, and that currency, if we consolidate and we put it into a seasonal currency, now are you spending your seasonal currency to potentially unlock null shards when eventually null shards hit that shop? We wouldn't want to necessarily make it into a legacy currency. So we're still having debates right now internally if we feel comfortable making some of those calls, because I do think that we need to be thinking a lot further out in terms of if we make a decision right here, right now, what does that do to the long-term impact of that mode? And so I would say Battle World's one of the currencies that we're playing around with. Do we want to consolidate that? But right now I would say it's still kind of TBD, where I think there's pros and cons, and right now we haven't aligned on kind of what we want to do with it.
Yeah, and I know that sometime during Chapter 2, there's going to be revamps to kind of the UI in the command center, and hopefully also the legacy shop coming in and actually being that shop. Those are also happening relatively soon.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we talked about this a long time ago, right? And so I think the player expectation was day one, where it's this kind of legacy shop. These things take time for us to build, and I think it's also we want to be really thoughtful and kind of the intentionality that we're putting behind these shops, and how do we make it great from the user standpoint and the experience, because there's a lot in the existing shops, and so trying to just consolidate that all down into one shop. We don't want you scrolling for forever, so how do we build better containers for, say, a team, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot that we're looking into there. As you already kind of touched on with Command Center, we did kind of a small UX update, and we saw a significant uptick in players actually being activated and going into the Command Center. So we still know that there's a lot of players that have this kind of habituation over the 7 years of playing this game, that they're not necessarily going into the new thing the way that we would expect them to. So we're going to continue to monitor and look at where we want to make those improvements. But yeah, I would say, I'm very passionate about us getting the kind of legacy shop out as quickly as possible, but I also think that it needs to be done in a very kind of way that's very player friendly for the existing player base, and as well as newer players coming in, so that they kind of know what this shop looks like and what it should feel like.
Okay. Well, before we go on, don't forget to like the video and hit the bell and subscribe. What was your favorite thing about Chapter 1, and what is something that the game team should be aware of to work on for future chapters? We would love to know in the comments. So, RJ, I was originally...
So, it's funny you said that, Hugh Jess. That is exactly what I was thinking a second ago. Is like, what if like overpowered was tied to diamonds? And like every diamond was a level of overpowered in addition to where they were at. And I was like, that's horrible. But what if it was?
going to ask what your Danger Room high score was, but let's go with something else instead. What's something that you promised you wouldn't spoil today, but we all know you're going to because you're the boss and you can do whatever you want. So, got any spoilers for us today?
Danger Room, though, that would have been a good one. So I actually have to go back and think of like what was my high score. I would say my favorite mod, though, would be Barrel of Monkeys. Like, that one was awesome. So I again applaud the team on kind of all of the Easter eggs that they've put in it so far. I can't wait to see what we do with that mode in the future. I don't know. The next legendary is Blast Star. I don't know if that's a spoiler.
That is indeed a spoiler.
We have a whole bunch of Spider-Man villains coming into the game. I know there's a player or someone who's constantly on YouTube and Instagram demanding Sandman. I'm going to just state right now it's not Sandman, so sorry, apologies. We don't know how to get that character into the game just because of the complexity around that character.
I heard it's because they didn't know how to do his hair. And they didn't want it to look worse than a Mega Red Phoenix Force hair or Medusa's hair. That's what I heard.
We would love to see him in the game, but I would say there's some really cool Spider-Man villains that have yet to hit the game, and so those will also be coming out sometime in the near future. One of them, I think, is one of the most iconic kind of Marvel covers, in my opinion, and so I
They couldn't make a decision whether or not they wanted to texturize his nipples on the Sandman frame. They were struggling with this concept, and so they just abandoned bringing Sandman to the game. Actually, that would be a pretty hard character to rig. What does Man-Thing look like? Man-Thing similar? Mr. Fantastic has a flexible frame. Or is it a texture issue? Swarm has some texture stuff. Yeah, it'd be more like Swarm, yeah? Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know at all. Oh, yeah, that doesn't look great. I guess it's fine.
I can't wait till that character gets into the game. And there's one that's really complex in terms of like, wait, why is this guy a Spider-Man? Is he not a Spider-Man? He's a villain. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff that I think the characters and combat team is working on. I know Matt loves when I spoil everything. So yeah, I definitely think I'm super excited about the next legendary, Blast Star, and he's coming in the game real soon.
Yeah, Matt told me himself that he loves it when you spoil things early.
We should spoil more then, right? Like we should just
so.
have like a session where it's just spoilers.
Oh, we could make a whole strike spot about that.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Perfect. Well, I'll ask one bonus question, and I didn't even put this on the sheet that I gave you. So, what's your most anticipated thing in Chapter 2 that we're going to be doing?
With Chapter 2, man, there's a lot of things there because there's so many features that are going to start to come into Chapter 2. There's a lot of improvements that we just talked about, like the shop stuff that we hope to get in as soon as possible. But for me, as a player who tries to really communicate as much as humanly possible inside the game and outside of the game, Discord's one of the things that I really am looking forward to kind of getting into the game, just because I think it's such a powerful tool that I think a lot of us use even in our normal day-to-day lives. Yeah. So having it in the game and then giving a lot of those really alliance leaders or war captains more tools at their disposal that's in client versus going outside of the client, I think is a massive win for us. And then I think there's, you know, a slew of kind of quality of life improvements that are going to go into the game that I think should hopefully get players really excited. So I think there's a ton of stuff, and then I think, again, we're going to continually learn from how we better operate this structure moving forward. And so I also look for all those learnings and kind of what we pull forward and how do we constantly iterate to make this game better.
Okay. Wrapping things up today, thanks for joining us. Talk about Chapter 2. It's always appreciated. and I know that the community appreciates it too.
Thanks for having me. Always.
I
love to be here.
appreciate
It's
you.
always a good time.
Yeah, well, after learning about the changes we're making, what are you most excited for in Chapter 2? And if you made it this far into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and join us on Discord. Link will be in the description. Would love to chat with you over there. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of Strike Spot. Greetings, Commanders. My name is Pathfinder, and today we're talking about the next stage in the I already messed up. Talking about the next stage in the next stage. Any, Oh, okay. There's a plane. Whether you're a new player or a veteran today, you'll see why there's no better time to play Marvel Strike Force.
So someone pointed out to me that those are, what are they? They are Marvel Avengers Thor costume UV sunglasses. All right, so I missed something in there, Nah. I want to rewatch that part.
I don't know. The next legendary is of players unlocking Quasar, but the red star distribution isn't just really where we would like it to be, so we're still kind of closely monitoring.
That does not mean more. It just says that he's not happy with the red star distribution. Let's listen a little bit more.
Quasar, we did really good in terms of players unlocking Quasar, but the red star distribution isn't just really where we would like it to be, so we're still kind of closely monitoring how this last Scourge is going to go, but that's something else that we're focused on right now.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
From Chapter 1 to Chapter 2.
I think we're going to continue to monitor and look at the data for the red stars, like I talked about a little bit ago. If that's not where we want it to be, because we of course have goals set for these things, then we probably will make some adjustments and pivots in terms of the way that we're going to distribute the red stars for the next legendary, because we definitely want, you know, our players to walk away with a fully powered up legendary, and that's yellow stars and red stars. So this last Scourge will be really telling in terms of does it actually achieve those goals or not, and if not, then we will be making some changes to the way that we distribute the red stars.
Okay. And I think another question on maybe more new to mid-game.
Yeah, he does want people to have 7. The logical interpretation of that is that he wants players to have more red stars. Like Nah said a million years ago. A hobgoblin is what most people are saying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I even did this code. I edited it in, but I didn't get it myself. Yeah, I put it in the video, but I didn't even bother to do it. Hey, we got a song about it. We need more spiders. Spider harder, right? there was a Strike Spot video today where they mentioned Blastar being the next legendary character of high interest as well. There's a mention of some spider villains, which we're going to take a look, and we have some changes going into Cosmic Crucible and an update and all the bugs and disasters and problems from this week. First things first, the Strike Spot video really didn't have a lot in it. One of the main things that they talked about is that they were not happy with the distribution of red stars on Quasar. So there was a lot of conversation about that. Initially, when I watched the video, I thought that they were going to try to monetize this more because they mentioned it 2 different places. But when I rewatched it and went to the second part, it sounded like that they wanted more players to have the full red stars on Quasar. So I did a non-scientific poll here on Twitch, and it looked like 77% of the players that are on Twitch, which are highly engaged players, did have Quasar currently at the maximum amount of red stars, which is 6, leaving 23% of the player base without. And a couple things that were brought up here is maybe some people were skipping the events and just waiting to the third and final event just to do it all at once. And that's, I think, what they were suggested. Or maybe they want more people to have them, is kind of what was also said somewhat implicitly. But lastly, maybe this is their way of incentivizing people to do something to get the diamonds. And maybe that's what they're going to do, is they're going to monetize the diamonds. Well, the diamonds are not of any value if you don't have the 7 reds. So maybe by having a better way of getting the 7 reds, then people are going to be more likely to buy the diamonds. I don't know. Those are just some of my thoughts about that part of the conversation. Then I'm going to mute the music here, which is Need More Spiders, which kind of plays into what they're talking about.
Spider-Man, is he not a Spider-Man? He's a villain. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff that I think the characters and combat team is working on.
So they did miss Blastar as being the next legendary. I think that's been widely discussed, but this part of the video where he's talking about spider villains, let's take a look at that. Spider-Man villains coming soon. I thought this was a pretty good post here on Reddit by Zach Jones. They announced today's Strike Spot, that an upcoming, not necessarily next, but upcoming soon team would be some new Spider-Man villains. They flat out said Sandman would not be part of them. Yeah, they kind of mentioned that there might be some technical issues with that. I think the closest character that we have in the game to be what Sandman would look like would maybe be Swarm. I don't know if that makes any sense, because he's supposed to be like a bunch of bees, and so Sandman is, maybe they couldn't figure out how to do Sandman's hair or how to texturize the nipples. Who knows? But not Sandman. They're going to put Sandman on the team that has MODOK, is what I heard. They flat out said Sandman would not be part of the team. Boo. Here are my predictions. Hobgoblin, they said, one has an iconic cover. He definitely qualifies. Superior Spider-Man, Orchasm. Forget the way the wording, but is he Spider-Man? Is he a Spider-Man villain? So I think that lines up with Superior Spider-Man storyline. I'm not 100% familiar with it. Scorpion, if they aren't giving Sandman, they got to give him us. And then honorable mentions would be Prowler or Hydro Man. Do I have the Prowler sound on my thing? Oh, I got the Prowler sound on command. Love it. So that is pretty much what was in the Strike Spot. They did also discuss, things like how the negative zone was tedious and 14 days. And they don't want to do that. They did like the overall concept of it, but just the setup of it. It also worth mentioning is in that this Strike Spot here, there was a lot less discussion of facial hair, which was a little bit concerning. I was wondering if they were okay. No discussion about Pathfinder's mustache, no discussion of beards. So they were kind of in rare form today. That was the biggest change that I saw in this last and most recent Strike Spot. Also, somewhat last minute changes. A lot of people think that this has something to do with the cursed, and that the rooms changed, had something to basically being a way of a cursed being more effective in Cosmic Crucible. I haven't looked at all of the details, but it's worth noting if you're setting up your defense right now. There were 2 changes, and it was kind of out of nowhere, in my opinion. We are replacing stages 3 and 6 of the current season of Cosmic Crucible, and replacing with the fall. Let me zoom in a little bit. Stage 3, best offense. On defense and offense, all characters on turn, bury yourself for 5% of the character's max health and flip offense down on self. On turn, if this character's barrier is above 50%, gain offense up. And then, seems somewhat generic, actually. I'm sure there's ways of taking advantage of that. 6, health insurance on defense and offense. On turn, characters remove all positive effects on self and heal 10% of max health for each positive effect removed. And then also they mentioned that they are actively working with Dossier, who was in a video with me not that long ago. The winner of the last Envoy 5C tournament to come up with the Room 6 rules for Season 17. A lot of people speculated that once he found out that I did not do the 14 days of negative zone and got a 1 diamond, and he did and got a 1 diamond, apparently he threw his headset and it broke. And so that the next season's Room 6 name will be Dossier's broken headset. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's truthful. Boy, most of the stuff I've said in this video is just kind of out of nowhere. Don't take me that seriously. All right, update on issues. There's a bunch of issues this week. It's kind of been a problematic week, actually. And so we're going to go over what they are going to do or what they have done. So first things first, Command Center progress was not counted for the Franklin Richards Showcase. Issue has been resolved, and you can now earn the points from your showcase event. If you have already completed the nodes, you can auto the nodes to claim your progress. So you have to go back in, and I think it was 3 nodes. I don't know. It was like 1, 3, and 6. I could be, no, 3, 4, and 6. I don't remember. But if you go and sim the nodes, you'll get credit in the Command Center. And that's what was a weekly mission. For a short period of time, you could purchase Fantastic Four MCU diamonds using a cursed diamond credits. And so I was able to purchase with the cursed diamond credits a diamond on Franklin. We will remove any diamonds obtained from all players or refund the cursed diamond credits to your account. That's already happened for me. I can confirm that they credited me back the 80 cursed diamond credits. If you purchased the cursed diamond credits during the time frame they were available because of this issue, will refund you in ultra cores for these purchases and remove any leaderboard points and the cursed diamond credits that you received from these offers. Fine. Then Mr. Fantastic MCU Path to Orb offers were unintentionally giving Invisible Woman MCU Path to Orb. So the offer had the picture and it said that it was for Mr. Fantastic, but then when you clicked on the offer and you clicked on the orb, they were in fact Invisible Woman MCU Path to Orbs, and that was wrong for at least 3 hours on the day of release. If you use Mr. Fantastic MCU in a versus battle and any stars, it would count toward using Mr. Fantastic MCU at all-star levels for the Diamond Leaderboard for Franklin Richards. And there was another place too. It wasn't just the Diamond Leaderboard, but the post here is mostly about that. But it also credited something in the Command Center. We're going to normalize all of the scoring methods for using Mr. Fantastic MCU so all players can earn these points without needing to do a versus battle if you have Mr. Fantastic unlocked. So it still requires unlocking Mr. Fantastic. And so a lot of people were speculating that Scopely was doing 40 chests just to get me to purchase Mr. Fantastic early, because I was going to kind of stall it until Franklin came out, but this little issue, they tricked me, right? There was 40 chests on Scopely. They did it on purpose, right? To ensure leaderboard integrity, players will be granted points based on Yellow Star status of their Mr. Fantastic at the time of the event's end. And this should not extend the leaderboard payout for very long. Those competing in the leaderboard points will be awarded the following amounts. So people that did actually go through and purchase him up to a 7 yellow will have, the following points added to their account. So this kind of makes it right for people that did spend. All right. Then they also brought up an issue. My best guess is that they were trying to get ahead of an issue on this before, screenshots popped up on Reddit. 4 players received extra shards of null, allowing them to get 7 yellow stars sooner than intended, rolling back the additional shards that were not intended to be received from these players. So, I think what could have happened is that screenshots get out of this and people say, well, why didn't I get the 7 yellow and everybody in the game got it but me, and compensation. So in the past, we don't really believe Scopely. That's typically our plan, is that when they give us feedback saying it was a small number of players. We just don't believe them because there's no trust, right? And so I think that the idea here is they're just getting ahead of that conversation and actually stating the exact number and how they rectified it. What's worse, in the past, they've done something like a very small number of players got XYZ bonus stuff, and you saw all the screenshots, and we're not going to do anything because it's too complicated to unwind. And trust me, bro, it was a small number, but for some reason, when it's actually a small number, then they go out of their way to actually roll back those accounts. And then lastly, this is for me because I'm a boomer. Please increase the font size of Danger Room buff options. And I've got like the largest phone, and it's a little bit small to me. I know on my tablet, not so much, or when I play on my PC, it's okay. I'm old, and my optimistic sucks. I have to screenshot it so I can blow up the 4-point font and actually read it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And I've got like LASIK, so I can read anything. I don't need that. And it's still kind of small in my opinion. All right, that'll do it for today. Bye for now. This is the largest iPhone. I don't have one of those shitty Android weirdo people phones. I'm an iPhone elitist. I'm too good for an Android. Holy hell. iPhone Master Race. Stop being a phonist. Yeah, Blue Marvel is the general opinion on that from what I've seen. Let's see here. All right. I am going to go take a shower. It's been probably, I don't know, 2-3 weeks since I took my last one. Almost nothing I've said today is factually true. I don't know what's wrong with me. I wonder if I feel like anytime I am in this mood and say super sarcastic things that are just, being deadpan and not really stating, no, I'm just kidding about that. Like, you guys get it, but like YouTube would be like, what the fuck? You don't take showers? Mobile Gamer said Sandman's coming on the MODOK team. The only reason why we're not getting Sandman is because his nipples are weird. I do have poor hygiene, frankly. Let's see. I know I showered on Sunday, and today is Thursday, and I showered one day in between. So, yeah, it's maybe every other day. I know a lot of people shower every day. But to me, you know, I'm behind. I think I'm one. I didn't shower yesterday, so I need to shower today. I probably need to start doing it every day. You floss? I do not floss. I do gargle. And gargle and spit. Oh, that sounded weird. That was really weird. Did I just say that out loud? Spitters or quitters? That's a new one for me. I do have poor hygiene. Oh my God, yeah. Floss, gargle, brush, gargle these nuts. Water flossing is so good. I do have a water pick, but the mouthwash I have is the kind that has no alcohol in it, and apparently that works well inside of those water picks. Now the mouthwash that has alcohol in it will destroy them. So maybe I'm gonna go do that right now. Is load up the mouthwash, the alcohol-free Listerine or whatever it is in the mouthwash, and then instead of gargling, I'll spray it everywhere. You don't have to gargle every day, but you should floss. I hear that you can floss with pubic hair. Is that a thing? I use vodka instead of mouthwash. That's how to end the stream right there. Are you at Heavy Pills? All right. Yeah, we're gonna do the stream. Let's see who's streaming right now. There we go. These guys are crazy with the 5-hour streams. Yeah, we'll go over here. I think both of them are streaming together, but I am a big fan of both of these guys. Bye for now. Was the stream ever on the rails today? No, today was a quite exceptionally fucked day. It was only 2 hours long, but it was out of the top. Now I still need to do. I got stuff to do, but I'm over it for today. I got 2 videos up. Oh, no, I recorded 2. I need to record one more video before I'm going to go shower and gargle and floss and all that shit. Play with my teeth. Sometimes they run the stream AFK. I hope. I worry that's going to be a thing. I saw a random comment in the strike the strike time, the video, the live stream that they did. Someone was complaining about that, and I looked and they weren't a streamer, so I wondered why they would bring it up, and I wasn't sure who they're talking about. But you on happy pills? No.